This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Workers had to run for safety today after fire broke out on the boat they were repairing.
And as Janaea Noel Ferguson tells us tonight, those workers on the Lady Rosalind are happy to escape unharmed.
An engine fire aboard the Lady Rosalind today temporarily disrupted its operations at the Porterski dock. Chief Engineer Oswald Bowden says he was making repairs to the engine when the fire started.
He was down there, and we had just come out I'd say about 2 minutes ago. And when I look back, I see the smoke coming through the wind. So when I run back to go downside, it was too much smoke, so I couldn't go. So I get a mask. See right over there. And I put that on and get a fire extinguisher. And when I get down there, I see this electrical panel burning. So I couldn't stay that long, and I tried to out it. And what I could do, I do it. I couldn't stay that long, so I had to come back up.
One crewman aboard the vessel was taken to hospital for smoke inhalation. When our ZNS News arrived on scene, firefighters had already extinguished the blaze. Police Sergeant George Martin said 3 fire trucks were sent to deal with the situation.
Heavy smoke coming from the engine section. Where said that there was an electrical panel that was on fire. We quickly contained that blaze and extinguished it. The workmen here who said they were doing some welding in that particular area. We'll still have to do our portion of the investigation just to confirm that it occurred as a result of the welding or it occurred as a result of an electrical fault.
Bowden said that despite today's fire, collection of freight will continue, serving mainly Andros and several southern family islands. Other Lady Rosalind officials informed our ZNS News that the ship has been out of commission for about 5 years, and the work crew had hoped to have it repaired to begin routes again. They say that collection and delivery will continue on the Lady Rosalind number 2. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
The Central Bank Managers Union is hoping for the intervention of the Prime Minister in its dispute over a change to the pension plan. Today, President Talbot Colley told ZNS News he's especially concerned about the most vulnerable among the group, those who recently retired or are about to.
Having exhausted the route of protocol and decency, we may have to resort to options that are at the end of the rope for us. I think everybody understands what that means.
Colley says he's in contact with the National Congress of Trade Unions and other union partners. He says since what he calls protocol has been unproductive, the union will do what it has to do to get its point across. Well, the results are in. Following a brief voting process this afternoon by members of the executive, Inspector Dwight Smith was selected as executive chairman of the Police Staff Association once again. Smith previously served as executive chairman of the association, and Inspector Indira Adderley says he went in unopposed.
It went very smoothly. All of the executives were present and they cast their votes. The executive chairman is Inspector Dwight Smith, who went in unopposed. The deputy chairman is Sergeant Frankie Campbell. The executive secretary is PC Monique Turnquest, and the executive treasurer is Corporal Kirk Bastian. We did have some ties that were dealt with according to the Police Staff Association Act and the bylaws of the Police Staff Association. And we did have persons who were victors and were able to go down to the executive of the Police Staff Association.
Meantime, Smith indicated that he and his team will continue to address the issues and concerns of officers during their one-year tenure. He also spoke to the indecent assault allegation against him.
We feel good. We're here to continue to fight for the issues of police officers in terms of our insurance. We're still looking at that to see how to make best ways, especially when we're having police officers who would retire and is making minimum of over $1,000 or less and still have to pay an insurance of $707. We need to look at that. We're trying to fix a lot of stuff. Again, we are looking at and sending an agreement and forwarding that to the commissioner. Those things as relates to salary increases and talking about uniforms and everything like that. So we're still pressing the same issue. What we see would have already spoken to that. I wouldn't go too much into whether or not an allegation is made. I don't think it has nothing to do with that. Police officers came in to vote. I'm an inspector. The inspectors had to vote for me, so they voted me in. I feel that they were comfortable. I'm here as your chairman. My team is comfortable with me being here, and certainly if there is an issue, that will be addressed.
Princess Margaret Hospital pathologist testified during the Kendrick Sands murder trial today that she performed an autopsy on the victim, Kiftino Davis, back in June of 2010. She told jurors that Davis died from 9 gunshot wounds to the head, torso, and lower body, noting that the most fatal wounds were to Davis's chest and abdomen. 33-year-old Sands is accused of fatally shooting Davis back on June 27th. The trial continues before Justice Bernard Turner, Anthony Delaney, and David Cox are appearing on behalf of the Crown. Attorney Dorsey McPhee and Damian White make up the defense. 22-year-old convicted murderer Ginaldo Farrington expected to face a judge tomorrow to find out how much time he'll have to spend in prison for killing 47-year-old banker Stephen Sherman back in February of 2012. A jury found Farrington guilty last October of the murder and armed robbery. The jury also found him guilty of robbing Sherman's niece, who was with the banker when he was gunned down. Attorney Mario Ducille is representing Farrington.
Police descended on the Sequoia Street area in Pinewood Gardens to investigate the shooting death of a man in his home last night. Stephen Gay was on the scene.
A Pinewood Gardens family is mourning today after a loved one is gunned down on the family property through Sequoia Street. Superintendent of Police Paul Roll told reporters at the scene that the deceased, believed to be in his early 30s, was shot to the head around 11 p.m. Roll added that the victim's body was found on the ground near to a window in his home.
Our preliminary investigation at this stage indicates that this male was in his house when person or persons unknown accosted from the outside and discharged several shots into the window where he was standing, striking him, fatally wounding him.
At the scene, family and friends openly wept as authorities processed the area. While police offered no identity of the victim, area residents identified the deceased as Stephen Bethel. Meanwhile, as police continued their investigations, Superintendent Roll made this public appeal.
We appeal to anyone who may have information on this latest homicide to reach out to the police so that we can try and solve this.
Anyone with information regarding this incident are asked to anonymously call police at 919 or Crime Stoppers at 328-8477. Stephen Gay, ZNS Network News.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.